All right, let's talk about one of the most popular strategies in all of crypto, stacking sats. Everyone says it's the absolute best way to build up your Bitcoin wealth over time. But there's this hidden cost, a critical technical detail that almost nobody ever mentions. And honestly, it could put your entire savings at risk. Let's dive in and see what's really going on under the hood. So, what is stacking sats anyway? Well, at its heart, it's just a really disciplined savings plan. It's basically the crypto version of dollar cost averaging, where you buy a small, fixed amount of something, say every Friday. The whole idea is to accumulate Bitcoin, Satoshi by tiny Satoshi, bit by bit. And you can see why it's so incredibly popular. I mean, it builds great financial discipline, it smooths out your purchase price so you're not as exposed to crazy price swings, and let's be real, it just feels good to watch that stack grow. For a lot of people, it's also about something bigger. It's about financial sovereignty, it's about being part of the culture. On the surface, it really does look like the perfect strategy. But, and this is a big but, what if the way you're saving is actually creating a huge, hidden problem for your future self? A problem you can't even see on your wallet's balance screen, but one that's baked right into the way the Bitcoin network actually works. Okay, so here's the thing that most people get wrong. You look at your wallet, you see a single balance, and you probably think of it like a jar of water. You pour more in, the level rises. Simple. But that's not how it works at all. A better way to think about it is like a piggy bank. Every single time you make a deposit, it's like putting a separate individual dollar bill inside. And those bills never ever merge. They all just sit in there separately. And that brings us to what I call the piggy bank problem. Every single time you stack sats, you're stuffing another tiny little bill, which is technically called a UTXO, into your wallet. So imagine you do this every week for, say, 3 years. You don't have one lump sum. You've got over 150 tiny separate pieces of Bitcoin. Now, when you finally want to spend a decent amount, your wallet has to go in, grab all of those little bills, and bundle them together into one single transaction. And that, my friends, is where the trouble starts. And here is the absolute most important thing to understand. On the Bitcoin network, fees have nothing to do with how much money you're sending. It's not a percentage. The fee is based on the data size of your transaction, literally, how much space it takes up. So a transaction that's bundling hundreds of those little bills together is way bigger in terms of data than a transaction moving one big lump sum. And that means it's going to be astronomically more expensive. How expensive, you ask? Well, let's picture this. The price of Bitcoin is going nuts. The network is clogged with people trying to buy and sell, and you decide now is the perfect time to cash out some of your hard-earned savings. The fee just to move your own money could easily hit $500. And I'm not talking about $1 million transfer here. I'm talking about the fee just to consolidate your own small weekly savings. Let's just put that into perspective. Imagine one of your weekly savings was just $10. During a busy time on the network, the fee to simply include that $10 bill in a transaction could be $500. It's completely absurd. The cost to move your money is 50 times more than the money itself. This crazy situation leads to a really painful problem called Bitcoin dust. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's when your small savings, all those sats you so carefully stacked, are literally worth less than the fee it costs to spend them. They become unspendable, they're trapped in your wallet, and for all practical purposes, they're just gone, lost forever. So this whole thing creates 3 huge traps for anyone saving on the BTC network. First, you've got these insane fees that can literally turn your money into worthless dust. Second, you get trapped by timing. You can only afford to move your funds when the network is slow and fees are cheap, which means you'll probably miss the chance to sell when prices are high. And third, you basically destroy your own privacy. When you bundle all those savings, you're telling the whole world that all these separate deposits belong to the same person, creating a perfect roadmap of your financial history for anyone to analyze. I know, this sounds pretty depressing, especially if you're a small saver. It really makes you wonder, right? Is there any way to actually follow this smart, disciplined savings strategy without your money getting trapped, your profits getting eaten by fees, or your privacy getting blown wide open? Well, to answer that, we have to look at how different cryptocurrencies are designed. See, all these problems we've been talking about, they are a feature of the BTC network's design. But if you look at a system like Bitcoin Cash, or BCH, it was built specifically to avoid these issues. On BCH, fees are always super low and predictable. We're talking less than a penny, so your small savings can never, ever become dust. The network is usable 24/7, not just when it's quiet, and your privacy can actually be enhanced with built-in tools, not destroyed. And look, this isn't some happy accident. It's completely by design. The whole point of Bitcoin Cash is to be a system that can scale globally. It was built from the very beginning to handle a massive number of transactions, like a real global cash system would need to, while making sure that the fees stay ridiculously low for everybody. So what does this actually mean for you, the saver? It means you can stack all the sats you want without ever worrying about them turning into dust. It means you can move your money or spend it any time you feel like it, day or night, because the fee is always just a fraction of a cent. You can even use amazing built-in tools like Cash Fusion to mix up your coins and protect your financial privacy. It makes a spend and replace economy possible, where you can actually use your crypto, not just hoard it and hope for the best. When you get right down to it, this is all about two completely different visions for what cryptocurrency is even supposed to be. The BTC model is all about digital gold. It's meant to be a slow, expensive settlement layer for huge transactions, maybe between banks. In that world, high fees aren't a bug, they're a feature. But the Bitcoin Cash model sticks to the original vision, peer-to-peer electronic cash, a system that's fast, cheap, and reliable enough for everyone on the planet to use for their daily life. So if there's one thing you take away from all this, it should be this. The technology you choose to save with matters. A lot. It's not just about a name or a brand. The underlying code, the protocol itself, is what determines whether your money is something you can actually use or something that's just trapped. And that leaves you with one final question to think about for your own financial journey. What is your money actually for? Is it just an asset that's meant to be locked away, something you just hold and hope goes up in price? Or is it a tool, something meant to be used, spent, and sent freely around the world? Because the technology you choose will end up making that decision for you.